Welcome back, everyone, to the final episode of Toriko Unveiled. Throughout this full course, we've viewed Toriko and his fellow Heavenly Kings. We've touched on the busted abilities and techniques that the creatures and characters possess. Today, we sink our teeth into the final episode for the unveiling. During this review and in the world of Toriko, we've talked of Knocking Master Jiro, President Acacia, and of course, Boss Midoriya. All planet-busting, reality-altering level warriors, capable of beating even your favorite anime characters. And no, I'm not joking. We now unveil the man that raised the theoretical bar and transcended to near godhood, the gourmet god, Acacia. Acacia is the god and patron saint of gourmet hunters and the most legendary character in the Toriko series. He is one of the most powerful men alive, having raised the 3 disciples who in turn became known as the 3 strongest men on the planet, and is the first and only person to find the holy and phantasmal ingredient, God, taking most of his life to do so, and was only able to discover it in his final years. With God, he was able to stop the Great War that nearly destroyed the human world centuries ago, and begin the bright new gourmet age that will be based entirely around his philosophies on food. Acacia became a gourmet hunter, young, procuring ingredients when he was 4 or 5 years old. He also discovered many ingredients and made many miraculous and revolutionary discoveries. He was also the combo partner of the legendary chef goddess Froze, but we'll get to that later. The most revolutionary of these discoveries was the gourmet jellyfish, from whose cells fostered the entire line of genetic growth in the human world. This jellyfish possessed cells much like the real-life immortal jellyfish that can regenerate its cells endlessly. This allowed the gourmet jellyfish to regenerate its body from even the most severe wounds, and any creature that would eat the gourmet jellyfish would end up becoming stronger and its flavor would increase. Acacia harnessed and used the gourmet cells to create and develop new breeds of creatures and flavors. This is why Acacia is seen as the gourmet god of the Toriko world. He brought forth a new age unto humanity, paving the way for individuals such as Komatsu and Toriko to discover and enjoy countless ingredients. However, within Acacia lay a dark side born from his own appetite. 5 years after the discovery of gourmet cells, Acacia began studying a highly intelligent species known as the Nitro. We've mentioned these species, and you may have noticed the Gourmet Corpse GT robots resemble them somewhat. This species eventually led him to discover the mystical ingredient known as God, which possessed the accumulation of all the flavors in the world, making it the greatest main dish on the planet. He made it his goal to add this dish into his full course menu. After being fatally injured on one of his expeditions, Acacia encounters the Nitro pair, both fatally injured. They agree in the most primal way to consume of each other to replenish their cells, as each were incredibly powerful individuals. They consumed each other as well to fulfill the methods for capturing one of the planet's full course ingredients, pair. After their encounter, the Blue Nitro shared a vast amount of knowledge with Acacia relating to future events, such as the appearance of God and the storm that would come to plague his world. Sometime after, Acacia made a secret and unknown arrangement with the Nitro in exchange for helping him to obtain God. At another unknown point, Acacia met his combo partner Froze, and together they would eventually raise a family in the near future, adopting Jiro, Acacia, and Midoriya, but if only this ended happily ever after, as the story sounds. One day, Froze and Acacia are called upon by the Blue Nitro, Acacia telling his sons to halt their advance, as none could stand against the might of the Blue Nitro. After an absence of days, he returns with Froze in a highly fatigued state, stating that Froze had exhausted all of her stamina in order to prepare a single ingredient. Midoriya, being the youngest and most attached to her of the children, pursues the mythical healing water guarded by the offspring of the Dragon King, Deros, to restore her. This leads to him being badly injured and Froze having to exhaust the last of her energy to save him. Thus, the ceaseless hunger of Midoriya was born. Shortly after, a funeral is held, and Acacia states that he is sorry he was not there to prevent it, and that he must leave upon a great journey, leaving the siblings effectively orphaned. Jiro disappears into the world, becoming a drunk. Acacia, the oldest, inherits Acacia's mantle of protector and establishes the Ego organization, leading to his inevitable showdown in Froze's grave with an insatiable Midoriya, failing to deal the final blow that eventually led to his death years later. However, the story of Acacia doesn't end there. Within Acacia lay a dark side, his own appetite, a demon, the demon Neo, a being that the gourmet nobles, aka the Blue Nitro, had been searching for millions of years to finally seal away and complete their plans. Bet you weren't expecting that, were you? Acacia, the patron saint hunter, is hosting the universe-destroying Neo. Now in the story, we had assumed that the Gourmet Corps, led by Boss Midoriya as the main antagonist. But the story of Toriko in the end unfolds as centuries or even millennia all come into play. The Blue Nitro revealed that their true purpose is to cook the earth and fully revive Neo as he devoured their entire universe, all to seal it and its danger away, permanently. To do this, they had to fully revive Acacia's full course, otherwise known as the planet Earth's full course. I'll be listing off each full course item and its importance in this process. Before I do, fun fact that I've kept hidden till now, Toriko actually has two gourmet cell demons, the Red Ogre and the Blue Ogre. Blue in the fanbase being rumored to have come from blue space, though this is never confirmed, and his origin is literally never spoken of, but he got some showtime in the manga. Now back to our full course, starting with the hors d'oeuvre, Center. Center is said to be a mysterious ingredient inside Acacia's menu. It is apparently capable of resurrecting the dead, being therefore called the ultimate revival ingredient. Being located in the secret continent of Pangaea, which is in the heart of the gourmet world. It seemingly gives birth to all of the creatures on the planet, being the origin of everything. Ingesting Center gives a sentiment of rebirth. Pear. Pear is the strange soup inside of Acacia's menu. It is apparently the testicles of the Monkey King, although it is also shown in the birth cry tree in large quantities, making a planetarium of sorts. The liquids from the fully prepared pear can show to not only fill the stomachs of multiple creatures from a few drops, but it can even heal the most impossible of wounds. It also allows anyone who consumes it to see into the spirit world and enter the back channel, which I'll go on to explain later. Now, onto the fish dish, Another. Another is a mysterious aquatic creature which lives in between the realm of the living and the realm of the dead. It created the back channel long ago by surpassing the speed of light to escape the Whale King Moon. As with Pear, Another is not limited to a single source as it has children. Tasting Another will grant one the capability of tasting things that were previously inedible. This shown when Toriko's tongue reaches into the sky and eats a literal rock. Acacia's meat dish is known as News. News is somewhat of the mysterious beast within Acacia's menu, being mainly represented as a pillar of bright meat. Unlike any other food, News has no flavor unless one has already eaten Another. It allows those who have eaten it the power to make their cell division exceed the speed of light, allowing for creation of back channels. Acacia's main course features the ultimate mythical ingredient, God. God is the most mysterious and greatest ingredient of all of Acacia's dishes, with it being so delicious that, as I stated, it once stopped a world war and was the trigger to the gourmet area. Apparently, it's said that God only appears during the gourmet solar eclipse, being held responsible for the extinction of many species due to its hungry nature. God is the combination of all ingredients and flavors throughout the planet's history, being the ultimate epitome of deliciousness. Air. Air is the strange salad in Acacia's menu. Air is actually a fruit that grows in the giant air tree. It is said to possess so much air that it could fill up the entire atmosphere of a planet. When prepared, air has the capability of improving one's oxygen intake and allowing many to survive for months without the need of breathing air at all. Atom. Atom is the drink of Acacia's menu. It is revealed to originate from a volcano, which spews it out with enough force to enter space before falling down and becoming a waterfall. Considered one of the most difficult ingredients to prepare due to the high concentration of toxins that it has when it re-enters from space. It allows those who have tasted it to see things which were invisible to the unenlightened eye. Once consumed, these dishes made it possible to fully reawaken one's gourmet cell. Now, I know this was a slow start, but let's sink our teeth into the final meal of Toriko Unveiled, and that is the terror of Acacia and Endgame Toriko power scaling. Now, let's step away from Acacia himself for a brief second and talk about the true powers of the Toriko universe. In in-story Toriko, the characters have dwarfed all other notable shonens in general in power level, ability, and simple technique. Abilities such as the back channel, previously featured in the 8 Kings episode used by the Deer King. You should check that out if you haven't and this is your first video on the channel, because who doesn't love giant monsters? The back channel is the space between the physical world and the world of souls in the Toriko universe, created when Another exceeded the speed of light in order to escape the pull of the black hole created by one of the 8 Kings, the Whale King. Characters in Toriko use the back channel as a sort of nearly instant speed transportation. By ingesting news, one can create a back channel. This results in the mass majority of Toriko characters each being able to surpass light speed. The back channel can also be used in examples such as the Deer King, who used it to trap Acacia/Neo in an alternate realm where they aged millions of times faster than the physical world. Although this backfired and resulted in Acacia becoming even more powerful, as he had, and I quote, time to master his cells. Food luck. Food luck is perhaps one of the most broken abilities in fiction that I personally have witnessed. Imagine someone dropped a nuke. No, 10 billion nukes on you and you survived because you were, and I simply put it, lucky. Food luck is as I described it. It is the ultimate X factor. Individuals blessed by food luck can procure ingredients that many others, even people of Toriko's level, can never dream of. Prime example being Komatsu, who discovered the century soup as his last drops fell perfectly into his palms. Or when he discovered the ozone herb, which is a naturally shy ingredient, revealing itself full bloom to him. Other examples being the gag character I've yet to introduce, Zange, who, for whatever reason, has yet to experience harm despite not being anywhere near our protagonist or any other character's level, and somehow still manages to make it to even the gourmet world. Now, back to Acacia. Acacia, even not at full power or fully revived, was strong enough to defeat his former disciple, Jiro. Jiro, after unleashing his true power sealed away years ago by Acacia himself, proceeds to completely decimate the gourmet nobles, or Blue Nitro, beings powerful enough to warp the landscape of the planet with thousands of years of combat battle experience. Acacia arrives to the battle after Jiro has defeated several of the Blue Nitro already, defeating Jiro by undoing the damage knocking on Jiro, and even schooling his former student a final time and telling him that the damage doesn't go away and that it is merely postponed. Jiro's final words before being blown to pieces was that Acacia dare not tell Midoriya, the boss of the Gourmet Corps, that their previous lives were all a lie. Acacia, grimly smiling as his former disciple, receives all of the damage from several planetary level attacks from his battle with the Blue Nitro, and faded away. And thus was the death of Jiro, the beast son of the battle wolf Guinness. Acacia, once resurrected to full power, possessed not only the power of the back channel and food luck, but the power of the planet's entire full course. He uses them in his own prowess to absolutely destroy nearly all of the 8 kings, who we have stated are perhaps planet-destroying beings at the very least. Acacia was capable of creating planetary scale hands made of appetite energy, all easily able of crushing the Jupiter-sized Toriko Earth. All this so that he may devour God, whom by the way turned out to be, a giant frog who proceeds to devour the entire moon in his debut appearance. Yeah guys, God was a frog, but let's not kid ourselves. The amount of power it would take an earthly body to pull the moon from orbit and eat it is beyond anything I can begin to scale. Its tongue so fast that it was capable of making several hundred passes across the planet, all within seconds. Acacia, once resurrected, shows a beast-like form, even spouting a tail once he had eaten his own appetite demon Neo and assumed his full power. In this form, Acacia is truly a god-level being, able to even devour food luck and shake off the effects of attacks that would split the planet in half. So powerful that the only ones to stand against him were a conjoined force of Toriko, Starjuan, and boss Midoriya, all taking considerable losses in this fight. Acacia only defeated once his own greed and hunger began to corrupt his body and form, after being assaulted by his least favorite flavor of all, burning rage from the blows of the fully awakened Toriko, whom after consuming Ogre and unlocking his true power, and also due to Toriko's third and final appetite demon, the White Demon, whom was stated to be so powerful that even appearing for a split second would have been enough to shatter Toriko's body. White proceeds to tell Neo that he has eaten far too much and for far too long, proceeding to defeat Neo and Acacia with a single blow from his finger. Thus, Neo and Acacia were no more. Neo going on to spew the entire star system's worth of ingredients he had devoured back into the universe. The story ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, I must admit, as Toriko and company begin their journey to the stars. But in the end, they revealed that each of Acacia and his disciples were in fact reincarnations of gourmet gods. Acacia defeated by his own over-gluttonous behavior, and Neo finally achieving what he sought, acceptance. Don't forget this is a shonen, everybody, so happy endings all around. And with that, we conclude our final episode of Toriko Unveiled. Now I know there's a lot we didn't uncover here, but these moments, abilities, and creatures I've detailed are simply the top of a delicious smorgasbord of the entire series that I chose to feature. Toriko stood out to me as I read it throughout my high school years because the central message was to simply give thanks to the bounty that nature and the universe has provided us with. And with that, I simply say,